Raoul, can you lend me £500? Raoul looked at his fiancée, Lynn, who was standing there, panting from running, her face pale and her mouth open. He sat as if to calm her and said as if addressing a horse, "Calm down, woman, what's the matter? I need a discount of £1. I'm personally in need of such an amount too. Actually, Raoul, I'm serious, can't you lend me 500? I'm already in debt to the bank, and that new butcher." Lynn interrupted him with a wave of her hand, dismissing the details of the farm. "Yes, but you could collect the money somehow, if you had to, right? Why do you need the money, Lynn? Are you in trouble?" "I need it for him." She pointed back toward the large house on top of the hill. "For Hunter? And why on earth?" "It's my mother. She borrowed from him. She's in financial trouble." Raoul said with some sympathy. "Yes, I expected that. Her circumstances are tough. I wish I could help a bit, but I can't. I can't bear the thought of asking David for it." "Forget that, dear. Roseanne practically handles the finances." "Why not?" "Why not, Raoul? I don't see why Roseanne shouldn't help out from time to time. We all put old Gordon in danger with his begging by not writing a will, and if Roseanne were to understand the situation, she'd see that it requires some assistance." "I don't have it. Have you asked her?" "I haven't, but that's different. One can't just go and ask a woman for money. It's not something one likes to do. Can't you understand that I don't want to be in debt to David Hunter?" "But you're not indebted to him. The money isn't his. It's practically Roseanne's. Roseanne has total control over it." "Yes, but it's not legally hers, and you can't, lend me some money?" "Listen, Lynn, if you were in real trouble, like blackmail or debt, I might be able to sell part of the land or livestock, but that would be a desperate and difficult measure. With the current situation, I can barely keep things going. I don't even know what the government will bring, and with restrictions everywhere in the forms I'm drowning in and sometimes filling out until midnight, it's too much for one man." Lynn said bitterly, "Mother, if only Johnny hadn't been killed." "Leave Johnny out of it. Don't talk about that." He glared at her in surprise. His face was flushed, and anger seemed to have gotten the better of him. Lynn turned and walked slowly back to the White House. "Can't you repay it, Mama?" "Oh, dear Lynn, I took the amount straight to the bank. And then paid off Arthur and Bud in Newbyworth. Newbyworth has been quite bothersome lately. Dear, if you only knew the relief. I couldn't sleep for many nights. Roseanne really was very understanding and kind in this matter." Lynn said bitterly, "I suppose you'll be going to her repeatedly from now on?" "I hope it won't be necessary, dear. I'll try to be very economical, and you know that, but everything is so expensive these days, and things are getting worse every day." "Yes, and will also get worse every day and continue to beg." Adele's face turned red, and she said, "I don't think that's a nice description of the situation." But as Roseanne explained, "We've always relied on Gordon. It was a mistake that we relied on him." Then she added, "He's in trouble." "Who's stopping us?" "That wretched David Hunter." Mrs. Marchmont said with some dignity, "I don't see any importance in what David Hunter thinks. Fortunately, he wasn't in Foroyank this morning. I think if he had been, he would have changed his mind about that girl. She's, of course, entirely under Roseanne's control." Lynn adjusted her stance and asked, "What did you mean, Mama, when you said that morning, if he really is her brother?" Mrs. Marchmont, looking a bit embarrassed, replied, "Oh, that phrase. Well, a certain amount of rumors have spread." Lynn looked at her expectantly, and her mother continued, "That type of young woman, the adventurous kind, and of course, poor Gordon was completely deceived. Such types always have a special young man behind the scenes. Imagine she told Gordon that she had a brother, and she led him to believe this imaginary brother was in Canada or somewhere. This man appeared, and Gordon didn't know whether her brother was real or not. Poor Gordon was completely taken with her, believing everything she said. So this brother came with them to England, and poor Gordon was entirely unaware." Lynn said harshly, "I don't believe it. I don't believe it." Her mother raised her eyebrows in surprise and said, "Oh, my dear, it doesn't seem like that type. And she's not that type either. Maybe she was foolish and careless, but she's kind and well-bred. These rumors are just the work of corrupted minds. I don't believe this story." Mrs. Marchmont said with dignity, "There's no need to yell.